everybody. Welcome back. I hope you're ready for another shot of pop culture because I've got a brand new comic chaser for you. All right, welcome to episode 3. So, this is a pretty light week, and thank God, you love to see light weeks. Anytime you get to spend under $20 on comics in a week is a really good week, but it is still a pretty solid week of comics despite only having a few books for me. Uh, but first off, I want to say thank you to everybody who's supported my return to reviewing weekly comics. The first 2 episodes have done really well. So thanks once again. And thanks again to Brian for providing the intro as well. And a special shout out to my local shop, Comic Kings. So, we only have 3 books to cover today. I meant to show it off. I completely forgot to. But I did pick up issues 7 through 10 of Ultimate X-Men by Peach Momoko from eBay. So now I'm like fully caught up on the series in physical copies. So I'll be reading it like month to month from now on. Really like it. It feels so different from everything else that's going on in the Ultimate Universe. Maybe because it takes place in Japan. It feels very manga-esque because, it follows a bunch of Japanese high schoolers. And a lot of these, like, concepts that feel very Japanese if you are familiar with, like, Japanese urban legends and, like, all the stuff that goes on with cults in Japan as well. So, if you're interested, I highly recommend it. It's super cool. It follows Armor, this universe's version of Nico Minoru, what I assume will be this universe's version of Cyclops. We do meet Psylocke as well. A lot of cool spins on characters. I definitely recommend it. But let's go ahead, before we get into this week's books. We're going to start off strong with Absolute Batman, issue number 4, written by Scott Snyder, not with art by Nick Dragotta this time. We have art by the fantastic Gabriel Hernandez Walta. Gabriel Hernandez Walta is amazing. You may recognize that name if you are familiar with Tom King's Vision series. That's where I remember him from the most. I love his artwork. It's fantastic, and it is a really nice fit. If Nick Dragotta needs a break, what a fill-in artist to get with Gabriel Walta, man. Oh my god. Good shit. This is mostly very similar to All-Star. I almost said All-Star. Absolute Batman, or Superman, issue number 3, which we read last week. This is almost entirely a flashback issue. It's kind of your just standard Batman fare of Batman dealing with street crime, busting up some illegal weapons rings run by the Falcones, or the Falcons and the Maronis. I never know how to pronounce that one. Is it Falcone? Is it Falcone? I've heard it both ways. Let me know in the comments. But the interesting thing is kind of the flashback material and the back and forth between Thomas and Bruce kind of explaining his project to Thomas. And if you guys remember, Bruce's project that he built that won them that trip to the zoo was actually the design of a bridge based off of a bat's wing. That's super interesting. And they kind of go into it in this, and like Thomas explains how he understands now why Bruce is so fascinated with bats and why bats are so interesting to him. And he talks about how bats are so adaptable, and how they can change, and how they can use different things to get around their environment despite all the darkness. Like echolocation. I love that in this first arc, the zoo arc of Absolute Batman, we also get to sprinkle in like little animal facts all throughout. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but like they've featured in a few of the issues little like zoo placards. When that we do flashback or see parts of the zoo or even in the aquarium in the one issue that first featured the Batmobile. Like they actually sprinkle in animal facts, and yours truly. I work at an aquarium, a local aquarium, and so I love giving animal facts to people. I mainly kind of hang out in the jellyfish exhibit, so I know a ton of different little fun facts about jellyfish. I'm not gonna get into that right now, but I think it's just really cool that we fit in the kind of motif of animals and kind of their you know natural adaptations, and Batman being adaptable is a big part of his thing. He has a plan for everything. That's the whole meme, right? Batman with prep time wins all. uh, but yeah, his adaptability is a big core part of his character, and I think that's another big reason why this was able to sell me so quick, is because this feels new, but the core of Batman shines through so well here that I am just on board right away. And this was awesome. Like, no big twists and turns here that I really noticed, but it's just really solid character building. And you can get that from Scott Snyder, so good shit. I really enjoyed Absolute Batman issue number 4. But it is not my pick of the week. This time I'm actually better organized, and we'll talk about my pick of the week at the very end. Uh, Book 2 out of 3 this week, because I only have 3 books. This second one is Daredevil Unleash Hell. This is basically the next volume of the Elektra series, a direct follow-up to Daredevil Woman Without Fear. If you guys read that last year, the Elektra solo series, the Elektra Daredevil solo series, that is. It is written by Erica Schultz with art by Valentina Piniti, I want to say. I apologize if I mispronounced that name. Beautiful artwork. I love this. Again, this is a direct follow-up. So, like, if you haven't been reading Daredevil from, like, I believe, like, it references everything all the way back to Zdarsky's run, all, like, up to current day stuff. I'm not reading the Solid Ahmed Daredevil right now, but like, I'm keeping up with what's happening, and they reference a lot of that in here, and of course a lot of the stuff from Elektra's Woman Without Fear series as well. Marvel has this weird thing of they don't like to keep numbering going, and instead they will just relaunch a book with a number 1 and not tell you that it's a direct continuation of an existing run. And they use basically the same creative team, or at least the same writer, and maybe with a different artist. But like, it's so confusing. And also, I just want to take a second to rant about this real quick. Not about the book itself, but the fact that this is quote unquote a red band book, right? So like, it came wrapped in this obnoxious poly bag with this like dumb red band like logo band across the top of it, like obscuring the art. It was so stupid. And like, when you open it, yeah, there's like blood and violence and stuff, but like all the cursing is blurred. Like, they still censor all the f-bombs and all the curse words and stuff. I'm like, if this is supposed to be an adult book, why can't you just say the word fuck? Like, what's wrong? Like, you go through all this effort to label this a red band book and you can't curse? That just feels so weird. Kind of took me out of it a little bit, but like, I was still very interested in the story. So it's it's a pretty basic opening adventure. We see Elektra kind of bust up a drug lab that looks to be run by AIM, because they had all the beekeeper suit dudes running this drug lab, and just a great action sequence of Elektra kicking ass, taking names, and these just dumbass, untrained AIM scientists trying to hold off Elektra. Good shit. But it looks like the main bad guy is going to be this kind of evil spirit that is like possessing this young artist, that kind of serves as like a dark muse that basically does the whole devil made me do it, and gets the girl to like kill her art teacher and make like this macabre art display. It's actually really cool. Like from like this like kind of crime thriller supernatural type perspective, I really like this. This is the type of shit that I'm really into. Uh, Again, super basic right now. It's just kind of your opening first issue, kind of set up the premise. But I really like it. If you're familiar with the previous stuff that Elektra's been going through, and all the stuff with Hell and the different sins that Matt brought back, and all that stuff, it's very much tied into that. So like, if you're not into the like Daredevil mixing in with the supernatural and you know all the different stuff with hell, the afterlife, you know, dealing with sin. Of course, Daredevil being a, you know, very religious influence book because Matt is a hardcore Catholic. Uh, that's always been a thing. If you've been reading Daredevil, but it's really good. It's a very solid start. I'm very intrigued by the story. The art is really solid, and I can't wait to read more of this. Daredevil Hell Unleashed definitely gets like a 4 out of 5, but probably my favorite book out of this bunch, and my book of the week personally is Magik issue number 1. There were some really cool variant covers that I was very tempted to pick up at the shop, but I did not. Uh, this is written by Ashley Allen, with art by Herman Pelata. I apologize if I mispronounced your name. But this is all about kind of Magik being roped into this kind of small town demon centric conflict where basically this takes place in Juneau, Alaska, which makes sense because if you have been keeping up with post Fall of X related stuff, like Ashes, I believe it was the next era, right? Ashes of Krakoa or whatever. Scott and his Uncanny X-Men team are stationed at the factory in, I believe, Anchorage, Alaska, and basically, it's Ileana's birthday. This does a really good job of recapping a lot of the important details you need to know if you didn't keep up with Krakoa, which I did. But if you didn't, Magik is no longer Queen of Limbo. She kind of cut that tie, and so, she's really kind of trying to, fight her demon side, Darkchild. It feels very anime. If you know that classic shonen trope of the, like, darker power-up side, like Ichigo's hollow form, Naruto's nine-tailed fox, like, that type of shit. It's really interesting. I've always loved the concept of Darkchild. Obviously, to date this video, I also play a lot of Marvel Rivals. I don't main Magik because I'm not good with melee characters. I've tried, not too good with them. But if you know her ult in Marvel Rivals, she turns into Darkchild there. But yeah, so a lot of mutants are being harassed, kidnapped, and killed in this small town of Juneau. So Magik goes to investigate. They talk about like attacks from monsters and demons do show up at this one mutant girl's funeral. And so Magik does what Magik does and starts killing demons. We find out that this small town of Juneau, is actually home to a set of complex seals that is keeping this dark entity named Liminal sealed away. And we meet this guy named Cal and his grandmother. And Cal is learning to be kind of the next guardian of the seals, slowly learning the sorceries. And of course, since this is the beginning of an adventure, and you need the call to adventure, the impetus for Cal is Cal's grandmother, spoiler alert, dies, is killed by Liminal's servant, who I don't believe we got a name for, but he looks really cool. He kind of has this, like, kind of bounty hunter, dark assassin, almost Vampire D look with kind of the duster, big floppy, not cowboy hat, but the Van Helsing type hat that you've seen before. Really cool look. I love the colors in this book. It's very, like, painted, but also dark, but it's not just bleak. It still has kind of a brightness to it, if that makes any sense. And a lot of this is Magik, Ileana, and her own inner turmoil, kind of dealing with that darker side of herself, kind of battling again her inner demon. And if you like that type of story, like with Naruto, Ichigo, shit you've seen before, like it's not reinventing the wheel, but it's a good story, and I'm really interested to see Magik actually playing kind of a mentor role. Because if you know Magik's story, from New Mutants onwards, she's kind of always been like helped out. She's been mentored, but she has never gotten a chance to really be in a mentor position. So helping out Cal and being a mentor slash protector to this kid, very Wolverine like, is gonna be very interesting. It's a new kind of opportunity for Magik, and it'll definitely lead to some character growth that I'm really interested in seeing. I've always been a fan of Ileana, and also we find out Ileana's age in this. She's 25. That's cool. I mean, she was created in the 80s, so technically she should be way older than 25, but sliding time scale, right? Really enjoyed this book. I had a blast. This was a really good first issue that hooked me right off the bat. I mean, so did Daredevil. Don't get me wrong. Daredevil Unleash Hell was pretty solid, but I cannot wait to read more of this for sure. I am really looking forward to seeing more of Magik next month. But yeah, that's what I settled on as my pick of the week. Let me know, what books did you guys read this week? Did you also have a light week? Did you end up having reading a bunch of books? If anybody read Aquaman #1, let me know how that went. Let me know what your pull list is like in the comments down below. As always, tell me your thoughts and feels in those comments. And don't forget to leave this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more episodes of Comic Chasers, more brand new video episodes of the Channel Chasers podcast, solo reviews, and more coming from the channel. We're trying to keep our content much more consistent for 2025. Thank you for being patient with us, and thank you for still coming back after our long periods of absence. So, until next time, this is your boy Jay with Comic Chasers, signing off. Cheers. I'll catch you next week.